Okay, people, I'm back in the Boboy Valley, a valley that's suffered incredibly over the last 20 years. You need to pray for these people. We acknowledged on Monday the people who had played a role in helping us to be able to build a care center for these folk, to build youth centers for them. Lake Point Church have helped us to build youth centers for these amazing young teenagers and children in this town. They have helped us to finance the building of gyms and reading rooms and creches. And again out there to Highlands and to the Starkeys, the Hickmans and all those amazing people. Guys, these are the people that you're affecting. And at Christmas time, what a great time to celebrate your goodness and your kindness. You are indeed, like Joseph, good people. And we thank you. And they thank you. I want to say today that we over the course of the last couple of days, we've looked at a number of the characters around the Christmas story. So far, we've had a look at Joseph. And he was a good man. The innkeeper, however, was an indifferent man. Today, we come to Herod. He was a bad man. He was the rotten egg. He was the threatened one. He was the one who was out there to get Jesus. He would not stand for anybody. So if you were to look at it like this, you could say, well, the shepherds, they found the room where Jesus was. The innkeeper gave him a room, but Herod had no room, especially for another king to be in his area. He was so threatened, and whenever people are threatened, their first line of defense is the line of attack. And so when Herod heard that there might be another king in town, he said, this place isn't big enough to two kings, and he went immediately on the attack. Like some people, the first line of attack is the passive-aggressive attack. And that's the one that says, oh, okay, there's another king. Hey, well, wise man, when you find him, won't you tell me about him so I too can come and worship him? Yeah, right. Yeah, right. The passive-aggressive sort of attack was the first line of attack from him. It was the subtle attack, kind of like the snake in the Garden of Eden. Did God really say that? Are you sure? Are you sure that's what God said? And he comes like a serpent with a subtle attack. But I want to tell you something, people. When people try and get back at God, you know what God does? He doesn't always fight back. He laughs. He laughs. He says, Aaron, who do you think you are that you can have a go at me? Who do you think you are that you would be able to take me out? Who do you think you are here that could stop my plan of salvation being fulfilled through the Son of God that I'm sending to this world to redeem the world to myself? Herod, who do you think you are? You may think you're powerful in the eyes of people, but in comparison to me, Herod, you're a nobody. You are nothing. And I love it in that psalm where it speaks about God being almost on trial. And it says this, that God was the wise men of the world and the kings and the rulers of this world one day stood in the dock and gave evidence about God. And God would have watched the court case with interest to think, what are they going to say? And these men ranted and raved, as we hear today, in the wisdom of man about God does not exist and God is dead, and if he is alive, he's irrelevant to the world. And you know what God does? He doesn't get upset. He just laughs. And it says in the psalm, and God laughed at the wisdom and the strength of mankind. God's plan, people, will always be fulfilled. You know why? Because he's God. We don't want to mess with him because he is God. God laughed at the stupid things that man does and man says. God didn't laugh because it was funny, I don't think. God laughed because it was futile. Now, some of the things that we get upset about, some of the things that we get angry with God at the end of the day when we don't like his plan for our lives, God doesn't laugh at us because we're being silly or it's being funny. God sometimes just has to say, guys, that's futile. That's futile. My plan, no matter what, will be fulfilled. And the purpose of human beings is that they would fulfill the purpose of God. That's where Joseph was declared such a good man. He said, Lord, I don't understand your plan, but I want to fulfill your purpose. And it may just be to be in Jesus' life as a caregiver to your son for a period of time. I'm going to do the best I can to help you to fulfill your plan for this world and for redemption. God laughs at the plan of man. I turn on the news and everybody thinks, oh, what about this guy? What about that guy? God laughs at them, people. God laughs at them. And at the end of the day, no matter about coronavirus, no matter about what political leader we have, God will always, remember this, so simple but true, God will always have the final say. That's what Christmas is all about. Have a great day, people. Cheers, bye.